Alrighty, here we are going in with Zappr Zeal, battle number. Just kind of feel out the team, see how it goes, see how well it holds up. Core of this team is definitely going to be Ninetales with Drought, and honestly, if we can get Aegislash up there, let's see who we're going against. Rono. Alright, this is going to be a rain team. So it's going to likely come down to speed between Pelipper and Ninetales. If I were to send it out first. Emboar here is built to do very heavy damage, take some good damage, and be able to defend itself. Most of these Pokemon are carrying either Solar Blade or Solar Beam, which is boosted by the sunlight that both Charizard and Ninetales provide. I think just as an all-rounder, we do. This could also be a Frostlass pivot. People are getting more experimental with their cores. Oh, I forgot I had a win streak. That's definitely not lasting after this. Rain teams always struggle. Got Gen 9 trainer battle. Try to make sure we can keep outspeeding. Especially in a rain team like this, once they get the speed advantage, then there's nothing to block those strong Electroshock moves coming from Arculodon. I'm surprised I didn't see a switch there. But we are going to inflict burn, which is going to get a good start going for us on Arculodon. I'm willing to bet that thing's going to use Metal Head. Volt Switch is going to do good damage. Surprisingly not getting KO, so that means they're switching out. This is where they're going to set up Drought, or they're going to set up their Rain. And then by setting up Rain, they're also going to be able to turn one Electroshock. Had I protected instead of setting up Tailwind, I could have prevented this. It's a cheeky strategy that works, and honestly, I'm surprised they didn't swing that right into Ninetales. No, but they're swinging Dragon Pulse turn one just on the off chance they didn't get the hit. All right. Then with that, they're going. We're gonna have to make a defensive pivot here. Aegislash isn't going to get hit very hard. Aerodactyl's really not doing too much by staying alive, so I might as well swing it. See what happens. Alright, that's going to do some good damage on the Pelipper. Arculodon's also burnt, so half physical damage, but their defense is going to be through the roof. They're going to... Alright, that Pelipper is citrus. Going to heal it. Electroshock. I'm willing to bet that's not going into Hone Edge. Very likely going to go just confirm kill. Never mind, I'm wrong. But Aegislash does tank it. It is a very defensive Pokemon. We did get the flinch on Pelipper, which is very handy. Now then. Since we're already playing with fire, we might as well go full send. Honestly, I'm hoping if there is a KO on my side of the bench this turn, it is a double KO. Because I'm not going to be picking one. Especially with that miss on Arculodon, which is really bad. Because now Aegislash won't live another hit. Then here's where it fires off due to the rain. And that is getting the knock, as predicted. But with this being how it played out, alright, I'm going to get the double switch. Because there is 2 knocks out. I can safely put in whoever I need. Heal and then take burn. Toss you in and you in. Emboar here is not going to be able to set up Drought, but it will very much be able to take effect of Ninetales here. Just in case this does switch, I should be able to attack whatever comes through. My best case right now is Ninetales gets the knockout, which, since it's going first, it very likely can pick up that knockout on Pelipper. And almost on that Arculodon. That's probably going to die to its burn, if not knocked out immediately. Because Solar Blade is always going to hit, and it hits in 1 turn because of the Sunlight. And it does 1 damage because their defense is that high. But also we're likely Ninetales here. That Dragon Pulse. Yep. Rough play. Ninetales is never really a bulky Pokemon. It's hard to keep it in the game. And this is not going to be a winner's match no matter what we really... Especially now that we're not going to outspeed it anymore. We're not going to give it a chance. We are just going to work on trying to eliminate this Frostlass and pretend like Arculodon isn't there. I'm surprised they switched into Frostlass of all things. I feel like Pelipper was the much safer play, because even if I were to get the knockout on Pelipper, Rain would still be set up. Especially now that I have no way to stop it. That's surprisingly not going to kill. That will. These are 2 of the strongest cores currently in the game's meta. So I can't say I really didn't expect this. Especially for a team I just kind of formed at the whim. Let's go into our next game and see how that goes, though. Alrighty, here we are for game 2. I think part of where we went wrong with the last game is that we didn't have enough ways to set up Sun. So I think if I bring in Ninetales again, Aerodactyl, Aegislash, but instead of bringing Emboar, because I'm not sure how great into this pickup, I think I'm going to bring Charizard. Because being able to use Scorching Sands is going to do quite a bit to the heavy hitters here, like Chandelure, and then Sereni and Mimikyu. But that's enough pre-ramble for me. I'll let the game explain itself. Alan. East Tree. Alright, so they use a lot of flying type. Noivern Serena. I know Serena is a very fast Pokemon. And it can not be hit with certain priorities. What I understand about it is... What I can do is launch that. Then instead of doing what most people do is setting up Tailwind turn 1. I can try to knock a flinch out, which means they will not be able to attack. And that's already going to do some great damage. Yep, that means they don't get to set up their Tailwind. Heat Wave does not get the kill there, but it should be able to knock out Noivern here. Surprisingly not. That Noivern must be really bulky. Alrighty. Since that Serena's unlikely to be able to protect twice in a row, I'm going to count this as a bit of a safer turn and just set up Tailwind. Yeah. they're going to backpedal into Chandelure. That's a smart one, especially if it's running Flash Fire. But now for here on for the rest of the game, we should be going for, yeah, Flash Fire. So they're going to be doing more damage. And we missed on the Noivern, which is really unfortunate, because that's going to be our fast track into getting good damage. Luckily, I can use Extrasensory, and then I can also drop rocks. Quick Claw is going to allow Ninetales to go first, actually. So it's a good thing I put that on here. That Extrasensory is going to break any sort of focus sash that's going to keep that thing alive through more than one hit. And that is just a poor damage roll. The fact it does not get the kill there. Oh, and they're using my own stage against me. That's going to knock out Aerodactyl. Or not. Okay. Oh, yeah, because Flying type. The Flying type is going to resist the grass there. That's the only reason that Solar Beam did not kill. But now that we have Mimikyu, what I can do, because I know my rocks will kill, is prepare the Solar Beam for Mimikyu, and then Rock Slide on them just to finish off Chandelure. Or it's not going to finish off Chandelure now that they've protected, but it should still break the disguise of Mimikyu. And by breaking the disguise of Mimikyu, that's going to allow it to be able to take damage, which means that me coming through here with Solar Beam going to press really hard and do some real good damage. Swords Dance is going to buff their physical attack, so they're probably going to start using ghost type moves here, which means I should be very careful in how I proceed. My safest move is probably just Heat Wave, and predicting a switch, Rock Slide's always a good pick because it can inflict flinching, which means there's a chance they won't be able to move. But that is going to be these two down. It is whatever Pokemon they have in the back that's left in the fight. So when you're running against some less meta teams, you can see this team can really pull through and do some huge damage, even if we are going to lose our Tailwind, which means we're at our default speed. And they're sending back out Cupcake, that Serena from before. So we're going to be able to just drop Heat Wave, and we're not going to need to worry about any setup. Chances are they're going to protect this turn. Or if they have a priority move, their goal is going to be knock out Aerodactyl. They do not protect, and they do not have priority. So they're just relying on somehow squeezing between Ninetales and Aerodactyl, but if I remember correctly, they are very close, and so my team should be attacking together at most chances. As we can see, going into game 2, that is a point for us. So far, 1-1 win rate. This is a bit of an off-meta core. I can't say it's necessarily one I fought against the loads. I just know it has a lot of strong pieces on its side. So don't expect to be climbing the ranks with this team. I do expect to be able to pull through. Dylan. Dylan is going to be running yet another Rain Trick Room team. So because we can see Trick Room coming, we are going to bring in Ninetales first. And actually, no, we're going to keep Ninetales in the back. We're going to bring in Aegislash, Aerodactyl, Charizard, and Ninetales, because Draco Meteor is not going to do us any help. And while Head Smash and Flare Blitz can hit hard, with things that can easily counter it, such as Aerodactyl on the field, it's not really worth the risk. Aerodactyl and a Mud Spray. So we're both going to want to set Trick Room here, is what I'm reading. But I think if we play this a little differently, instead go for Solar Beam onto the Mud Spray and quickly pivot into Ninetales, That's going to disrupt their turn quite a bit because all of a sudden we're going to have terrain and be firing off very strong moves. This game is about the mind and the might. I'm also half predicting the fact that they're going to switch into their Trick Room setter. No, they are still going for the full speed, so chances are they did not bring Trick Room to this fight. Heavy Slam, that is a steel type move. It's not going to hit for good damage, even if that's a very heavy Pokemon. Aegislash, despite not getting hit, is going to switch to attack form now because it is striking with Solar Blade. It doesn't need to charge now that Drought's up. And that's going to get the one hit, or no, it doesn't. Oh, wow, that thing is bulky. Just to play it safe, we're going to go into Iron Head on Aerodactyl just to make sure they can't set up Trick Room again. And we are going to once again drop Solar Beam onto their Mud Spray, which is okay. Yeah, Protect was probably something we could have foresaw. Rock Slide. All right, they're going to try to get a flinch on us. That is going to take out Ninetales. So very unfortunate. But that's why we have Charizard in the back, just in case something like this did happen. Ooh, that is going to pop their Sash. So then that Aerodactyl is now vulnerable to being hit unless it is fully restored. And while they get free healing over on their Mud Spray there, we can bring in Aerodactyl again and be able to use Tailwind to start catching up in speed. So if we do want to kill confirm this turn, could use Rock Slide too. They still have Tailwind for another 2. So let's Rock Slide here. Okay. Protect. So it would have realistically been very safe to Tailwind. Now knowing that. But it gives a chance to flinch onto their other Pokemon. And it's a critical hit. With Stamina boosting defense, we are doing less and less damage every time we hit. And that high horsepower is super effective on Steel types. So that is how it one-hit KOs Aegislash. Which is very unfortunate for us. But it allows us to pull in Charizard. Which we are going to strategically not Mega Evolve yet. We're instead going to use Solar Beam. We are going to Rock Slide again, because this is their last turn of being faster. And it's going to avoid Charizard, which is really good on our end. Because Aerodactyl can take that hit. Charizard, not so much, as that would be 4 times super effective. But we can get the knock on their Aerodactyl. We can do a little bit more damage onto that Mud Spray. Which is still upping their physical defense, but their special defense, which is what Solar Beam uses, is still pretty low. Allowing for Charizard to come in here and annihilate. With their Tailwind now petered out, they are on their last 2 Pokemon. Likely this is where they're going to try to pivot into Trick Room if they have it. Meganium is going to also benefit using Solar Beams from our Sunlight. Politoed is going to get rid of our Sunlight with Drizzle. But that is why we did not Mega Evolve Charizard. Because we can Mega Evolve and then do that. And just to make sure that we are getting a kill here, we're going to double attack on the Meganium and pray that there is no protection. We are going to Mega Evolve now, which is going to activate our Blaze ability, which is going to activate our Drought ability, which is going to override their rain. they're going to Mega Evolve. But since our Charizard's faster, that means both of our Pokemon are likely faster, and we'll be able to attack quicker. You can tell which Pokemon's faster by the order they Mega Evolved it. And, oh god, we're missing a Wing Beat. That's gonna hurt, because this likely won't be able to pick up. Never mind. Okay. I had no faith that would be able to get full KO. But since it's its first strike, that is severely lowering our special attack. Icy Wind gonna do a good number onto Aerodactyl. It does pick up the kill. Now it is purely up to Charizard to win this fight. With that Politoed being a water grass type, I don't know what it has in the back. So it is pure water type. It's deceptively water grass. Because of the green, most people assume it's grass, and it does tend to pack a lot of grass moves. It is going to use Perish Song, but that's not going to matter since we have Extreme Sun and Solar Beam. Perish Song would otherwise knock us out in 3 turns, so as long as we're quicker on the trigger. Oh my, that thing is bulky. Yeah, if this thing is likely going to protect here. So we might not be able to kill this in time. It does appear we're not going to be able to kill this in time. Yes, we're going to have to watch this animation every turn, even though it missed. If we were to get a critical hit on this move, that might be enough to push us over into being able to win the game. But that's asking a lot. That's going to be a fire type Weather Ball, which isn't going to do much. Sadly, I don't have my ability that would boost my special attack since I Mega Evolve. This also tells us they do not have a water type move. They're going to heal, but alright. We might not be able to kill this thing. We know they're going to protect this turn. They're just trying to stall out the battle. But I believe we're going to win because their Perish count fell first. So that was a real coin toss on whether it'd work or not. I don't know why it worked. I think it's because they were faster, so theirs went down first. But out of 3 games, we saw it can win 2 out of 3, and I feel like that's a pretty good team. Thank you, Zappr, for the recommendation, and good luck.